It's all well, that was wonderful. So we're going to bring Peter up, our beautiful, incredible pastoral care director and practitioner licensed with Centers for Spiritual Living, to take us into prayer.
Good morning. Let's go deeper. Let's take this right to the center of who we are, coming from Spirit. That power that is so immense, so immeasurable, that it holds all the manifest universe within itself, is eternal, is forever, and is right here, right now. As an individualized, unified expression of this power, I speak my word right now, knowing that the highest good and greatest joy for the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living is ours right now. And that everyone that is here or listening will leave this time together having received exactly the perfect message and fully spiritually fit. So I release this, my word, in gratitude into the law that always says yes. And together we say, and so it is. I knew you would.
Let's see what I can do.
Aren't you going to channel it straight from Spirit?
Oh no. Okay, well, I don't know where they went, but that's okay.
That's all right. Yeah. Sometimes we can open it older version.
That's okay, no worries. We'll just go ahead on and let's introduce Doug. We have our special artist here today, and I cannot wait to hear him. Okay? Come on up.
Come on, Doug. We're so blessed to have you here, and thank you for sharing your talents and gifts with us this morning.
It's the first time I've ever really professionally performed for my animals. We'll see if they applaud or not.
Yeah.
They're incredibly well behaved.
Did you give them the calm?
I forgot
what Benadryl
she
did.
did.
Oh my God, that's wonderful.
So good morning. So this is a poem I wrote some time ago when one of the first times I shared it was back at the Chautauqua Center when we were having the fundraiser. And I had just finished a class called The Power of Your Word. And decided to use the poem idea to help sort and settle, clarify all the ideas that were swirling around in my head by the end of the class. Entitled it, The Power of Your Word. If God gave us language, then every word spoken is sacred. And so knowing this, I look deep into each conversation, pushing aside the vowels and the consonants, hoping to find the meaning, the mystery, and the freedom hiding there. Why is it the excited blue jay has so much to say and yet so few ways of saying it? Well, we can speak thousands of words a day, covering 100 different topics, and yet all we're really saying is, hear my truth. If this is so, then let's choose our words wisely and always speak from the heart. Tell me, how is it by uttering that one small word, no, in anger or in fear, I can put at risk an entire night's worth of prayer? And yet, I am so surprised when, with one clear and certain yes, I can erase an entire day's worth of doubt. If this is true, then let's choose our words wisely and always speak from the heart. Have you noticed that on this world, it seems there's always some kind of hole somewhere for us to fall into? Can it be that life loves us so much, it even offers us an abundance of holes? We've learned so many ways to fall in. Let's admit we've mastered this falling and move on. Choose now instead to climb up with vigor and praise. Shout out loud, I am learning, Lord, my word is my freedom. Call out as you climb up, I am no longer a helpless prisoner of these pits. I am remembering who and whose I am. And as with any tree whose trunk has been badly damaged, there's always the danger of disease and disfigurement, and it can take years to recover. The longer I take to recognize and release the deep woundings around my soul, the longer I remain, in some way, a risk to all those around me. That is why I try to choose my words wisely and always speak from the heart. You know, it's a rare and true warrior who carries a sword in one hand and a joyful song in the heart. Be that warrior. Trust that discernment that lives in us all. Use it to strike down all shadow and remorse. Don't fear the deep work of transformation. Let all your words speak only to everyone's rightful rising up. Let all your work be life-affirming and in honor. Douglas, it's becoming clear now that all the hard work you've been doing is paying off, and I am glad. I think I'm finally beginning to understand now why it is we all should say, let's choose our words wisely and always speak from the heart.
Thanks, Danny.
From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord which made heaven and earth. He said, He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
writing is on these slides. Apparently, they're not relevant.
You don't need them.
I had the honor last week to speak in San Jose, and I really enjoyed being there. And my talk was the spiritual awakening from fetal position. And what I talked about was that I used to have a spiritual awakening every 10 years, every 15 years, whatever that was in my life, that really changed me. And I have them every day now. And every time I hear breaking news, I am having a spiritual awakening as I navigate through what's going on in our world right now. I don't know if you have that same spiritual practice where every time you hear the news and it seems to be spiraling and not upward, we're required as spiritual beings hoping to create a world that works for everyone and hoping to change the world. We're required then to lift the world up. And we use quantum mechanics to do that. And so spiraling down isn't an option. Spiraling upward is the only choice we have. So the idea of where do I go when I'm in fetal position, I have to start somewhere. You know, there's the stages of grief, there's the shock and the anger and all that to work quickly through to get to what principle will live in me right now to power up the world. And that word was power. You know, I thought about, the only way we're going to rise up is through the power of the people. And we can win. We can win with the power of the people, with that power. And what is that power? That power that lives in each of us connects us to each other. And we can't forget for a minute or doubt for a minute that the power we have, the divine power that we have, will power us into living in a world where we care for one another. And like Doug said, speak kindly and speak from the heart and live from the heart and act from the heart. So where did I get this idea of fetal position? I love this. It's like covering myself. Now we have metaphor here. Work with me. Covering myself up in a protective stance, a physical posture, allowing a mental or emotional perspective to emerge. My head tucked to my chest with my arms and legs drawn in, allowing for the passage through all of the feelings. Gotta do that part. Gotta do that part. Before giving birth to the spiritual awakening. And I asked myself, well, how long do I get to stay in bed? How long do I get to stay in fetal position? And the answer always is, as long as it takes. There is nothing wrong here about your process. But you got to get up. And how do you do that? Use your mentors, your practitioners, your spiritual practices, and all of that. So if you think, well, wait, I'm not having a spiritual awakening every day, let me convince you. A spiritual awakening is a profound personal transformation involving increased awareness, a shift in worldview, and a deeper connection to oneself and the universe. Often marked by questioning one's purpose and transcending egocentric perspectives. We don't have a lot of those flying around right now. I don't know what it is. It's characterized by a sense of higher consciousness, personal revelation, and an expanded connection to others and the natural world. While the specific experiences vary, it often involves a significant shift in how one perceives reality and their place within it. Does that not match what we're doing every day?
Yes.
And so, whatever is going on, and we have a lot going on, yes?
La.
We have a lot going on. So we have a lot of announcements, and we're going to do, Peter's still doing 2 more classes, and we have our offering, and hopefully, we'll pass the basket. And you understand all the things we ever do here today. Imagine it's happening organically. And today is a special day where we are blessing the animals, whether you brought them or not. We're blessing our animals today. And I have an announcement, as many of you know already. And I am so grateful that you are willing to hear my announcement with an open heart, as Doug said. I am leaving the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. And I wanted to share with all of you my decision to leave the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. And I am not using the word resign, but rather, I am using the word redesign. I am using the word redesign in regard to my ministry. What that means is that I'm not retiring. I am a minister of God's work, and I will go where I'm called. And right now, I am called to leave the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. And in regard to the dissolution of the corporation known as the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living, closing the affiliation and returning the charter, we are following the closing process provided by Centers for Spiritual Living under the guidance of Reverend Nan Bankston, who is the Senior Director of Global Support Services. So I'm just doing it by the book. As far as the building is concerned, our first priority is to relieve Ruth Hall as guarantor of the remainder of the lease. So we will keep the doors open until we have an occupancy date from the new tenant assuming the lease, in hopes of being able to pay the rent. Meanwhile, we will honor events currently on the calendar until further notice. From the moment there is a new signed guarantor on the lease, I will leave immediately and no longer be involved. Until then, we will hold a town hall meeting. We thought we would do that on Friday, October 17th, but our board president is not able to attend, so the town hall is to be announced. We absolutely want our president to be there facilitating the town hall. This is The intention of the town hall is for transparency and completion. This is an opportunity for everyone who has been a part of SCSL in the last 10 years.
We love you.
To join us in closing this chapter. Please bring wine and cheese and your favorite beverage and hors d'oeuvres to share. Personally, my inner drama queen is gutted. My inner whiner has finally caved. My inner critic is taking too much of the blame. And my inner soldier fears a coup. My inner goddess recognizes the challenges I have faced in the last 10 years and my efforts to overcome them. The power struggle was real, and so was the pandemic and everything else that contributed to this end. My part in all of this, which is a common denominator in most CSL conflicts, was my inability to hold people accountable early on, to stand up for what I believed was right, such as the Minister Practitioner Code of Ethics. I was the figurehead from the start. I had the position, but not the power. And last, my inner spiritual warrior is my saving grace. Her totem is that weighted blow-up clown that you can punch down to the ground, but it bounces back up every time. I know God is not done with me because I am still upright, taking nourishment. I also know that these last 10 years have taught me so much about the principle of love, and I'm grateful for that. This is my David and Goliath story, my Judas Iscariot story, and hell, what did Jesus say at the Last Supper? Love one another. That's what I plan to do going forward. Peace out. And now I'm going to turn this over to our animal kinship minister and Peter to close it out, and I wish you all well.
Come here. One of you is going to do this meditation and prayer, and then we'll do the video. Just a direct, no, just
Meditation, is it like a guided with eyes closed? Okay. All right, I'll give it a whirl.
But you have the one I gave you.
I'm going to do a guided meditation, I understand. So, just get comfortable. And start noticing your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in the love of spirit, the love of creation. And breathing out that love to this world we share. A special day of transition is upon us. And this is where we use our choice for our highest good and greatest joy to manifest perfectly in each and every one of us. Every little animal that's here, every little picture of every little beloved animal that's here, represents love, represents unity. We all share love. We all know what love is. We all express love. So just continue to breathe in and out and experience that love coming into you with every inhale and you giving that love out with every exhale. And know that as we continue with the rest of the service today, we are blessed beyond measure. And when you're ready and comfortable and ready to receive the rest of the service, please open your eyes.
Thank you. We do have the programs. We're not going to follow them exactly, but we do have the programs for the animal blessing. We're going to talk about the living animals, so you can show that in the next meeting. So, yeah. Probably need that. Okay, we do this every year, honoring St. Francis of Assisi. And he is actually considered the patron saint of animals. He was born in 1181. He was an Italian mystic, a poet, and a Catholic friar. He was declared a saint in 1228. He wrote poems about animals. He considered animals equal to people and felt that they had spirits. And he called them his brothers and sisters. Anyway, so in honor of him, we have the annual blessing. It's usually the first part of October, but we're doing it a little early. So now with the blessing of the animals, anyone is, first it will be people who either have their animals here today or, yes, or who have living animals and they want to briefly talk about them. We'll go through with that before we do the remembrance. Sure. Sure.
Right before I was born, my father was stationed in Germany, and there was a British contingency there that had recently had a litter of Springer Spaniel puppies. And my father was offered pick of the litter. So since he had 3 children, he brought home 3 Springer Spaniel puppies. I cannot imagine my mother's face when he brought home 3 puppies, and she had a newborn, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. Unfortunately, the older 2 dogs died of distemper. This was before shots. And they fed the baby, the runt of the litter, raw hamburger and red wine. and horseradish. And he survived. And he was the first Springer Spaniel of the family, and I grew up with that dog. It was my brother's dog, however. And when he went off and got married, his wife gave him a Springer Spaniel puppy. And they had puppies, which we got one of. And my adolescence was surrounded with a Springer Spaniel. First one was named Dudley. The second was named Dudley II. Not a lot of imagination, but a lot of love. My brother's daughter is of course raised with Springers. And she's the one who has our puppy's mother. And the first time I met Matilda, I fell in love with her and said, "You either breed her or I'm stealing her." And she said, "Well, I planned to breed her." So we got pick of the litter, and that's why we have Harry and Olivia. And I like that arc of childhood to elder sage, having the love and companionship of Springer Spaniels. They are just great dogs. And in between, I've had other great dogs. Dogs are special. And we're a bicultural household. We also have 2 cats. We decided not to torture them.
Or you.
Yeah.
So, those are our babies.
Who else wants to talk about their babies that are related to their babies?
These are my babies. They're about 3 years old, a little more. That is Fizzy, and this is Lizzie. They are brother and sister. Cats can have other daddies in one litter. And they are the light of my life. Well, I've had a cat since I was 4 years old, and we had cats growing up, and I am truly a cat person. I really am. Somehow something happened, and my son is a dog person, but my granddaughter has been reverted back to the way things are supposed to be. She's a cat person. Yeah, it skipped a generation, but it's back on course. So, yeah, thank you.
Wow. Okay, these are my cats. This one is still living. She is all white, as you can see. And she is deaf, which makes it really difficult to discipline her. She's a wonderful cat. She came to us off the street. She bothered the neighbors on either side of us who are not cat people. And finally, she ended up outside our house on our woodshed. And I saw her one night and heard her because she was meowing. So I told my husband the next morning, I said, "There's a cat out there. Don't feed her." And I said, I didn't. And then I came off to church. And by the time I got home from church, he had fed her. We already had 2 cats in the house. And not knowing her medical condition, we opted to keep her outside until we could get her to the vet. And so one Friday afternoon, she climbed our almond tree. And of course she couldn't get down. So she meowed, and she meowed, and she meowed some more. And finally, Saturday morning, I called the fire department. I said, "Doesn't the fire department get cats out of trees?" And shortly thereafter, a big fire truck, three hunky guys.
Oh,
Yeah, and they came and got her down out of the tree.
Put
So-
her up again the next day.
Yeah, exactly. So she is still with us. She's about 16 now. The vet estimated her age when we got her, 2, somewhere around 2. So that's one cat.
What's her name?
Her name is Sinatra. Oh, I should thank you for asking. She has incredible blue eyes. I mean, it's a she, but I had to call her Sinatra. And this is Molly. This is Molly. She was a full-blooded Persian. It came with her a 3rd place ribbon in a cat show, San Diego cat show actually. And she was beautiful. She was tiny. She was only 6 pounds.
Ooh, really?
Oh, just really small. And everything about her was small. I had to make sure that any crunchies I bought for her were teeny tiny because she couldn't put them in her mouth if I didn't. She was a really neat cat. I love my cats. I've always been a cat person. We had a dog when I was a kid, and after we got married and had children, our daughter begged for a dog. And I finally got a little terrier for her to please the children. But, you know, and we allowed her to have puppies, but it just, I don't know, we're cat people.
Yeah.
Always have been. So that's pretty much it on that. I've just had lots of cats and loved each and every one.
Talk about my dogs.
Butters, etc.
Good. You shocked me. I have dogs. I like cats, but I tend to be allergic to them. So I have statues of cats all over my house, which is weird. I'm like, oh, that's so cute, and I'm not allergic to it. Let's get it. So yeah, but I've had dogs my whole life, and I just don't know what I do without them. I have Butters right now, and they're, well, one of them I did spread his ashes up in Desolation Falls because I like to backpack, and he used to go with me. And the rest are still in their little containers, and I always thought when I go, they'll go with me. But Butters, I usually get them from the pound or a shelter, and that's where Butters came from. And he's about 10 now. He's had some health challenges. I always said, I've had great dogs. I'm not good at picking men, but I'm great at picking dogs. So I came and gave up men, and I still have dogs. So, but he's doing good now, and so many people might know him. He's so sweet. He's just the most loving dog. And I didn't bring him here today because he sheds like a crazy person. And I thought I'd save you all from that because you would be covered, everybody would be covered in hair when you left. Just a couple hours, so at least that's what all my friends tell me. So, yeah, what else about Butters?
Would you tell what breed he is?
Breed, he is, I think he's an Africanus, which is kind of a throwback breed from another country. They're akin to a German Shepherd, but I think they're cousins. So, but they're really social, they're really loving, they're very friendly, and my dad said it's one of the smartest dogs he's ever met. And he's had border collies. So he's all golden, and he has a little bit of a black muzzle. And
He's from Mexico, right? He's rescued.
yes, he took the train up. I think he was a legal immigrant because they don't tend to get the dogs fixed in Mexico. Probably culturally, they don't like their male dogs fixed, but also it costs money. So what they do is they gather all the dogs that they can, the vets and stuff, and they fix them, give them their shots, and then they put them on a train and they bring them up to California, and then they parse them out to all different shelters because
Huh.
The United States is really good at taking care of their animals, you know, and so if you want a small dog, it's hard to get. Because, I mean, if it's anything like a shepherd or a golden retriever, a specific type of dog, the people come in and adopt them at shelters and foster them out. So we do a fantastic job of taking care of our animals. So that's why Mexico tends to send them up here in trains. So, anyway, that's how I got letters. That's all. I'm talking too much.
Carol, did you? No.
Me? No, I have no animal.
Win?
Yeah.
So this handsome boy is Dugan. And Dugan is 19 and a half now, my little buddy. He came as a stray, and he grew up with another cat, my beloved Fiona, she left in the 2021, beginning of 2021. But he's just been a fabulous cat. He's, being an elder cat now, he's developed a very charming, grouchy old man cat meow. And he takes a lot of care. Our latest is he's acupuncture for arthritis. And I give him infrared treatments and medications. It's impacted my travel schedule a little bit, but he's so worth it. And just really quick one, because we had a fireman story. Shortly after I moved into the house that I'm in, this cat could be skittish with new people. And apparently while I was at work and the cable guy came with my then husband, he'd gotten scared, and I came home and I could not find him anywhere. Then I heard this really faint meow, like really faint. I was like, what is that? Anyway, cut to the chase. This cat had gotten spooked and went backwards through the flue. He was where the chimney is, so he was through the concrete wall. I could see flashing a mirror. I couldn't get him out to save my life. I'd just come home from work. I was in a dress, and then my face was plastered with the charcoal trying to get in there, and I'm like hyperventilating. I called the fire department. I said, "Oh, I don't know, but you get cats out of trees and everything." So they came, and what they came up with is the guy went up on the roof. He dropped a pole down the chimney to startle him. And the guy was able to grab him and birth him. Like he said, "I'm birthing your cat." He pulled him back through the flue. And fortunately, the cat just went dead body. He didn't fight it because it could have been really bad. I don't know how it would have gotten my cat out. What are you going to jackhammer through the thing? So he came out. He was covered with soot and, spent hours just de-sitting him. But that was 9 years ago. So he brought another, half of his life. I was thinking of that the other day. And that was a crazy experience, but he's a great cat, and anyway, that's my Duger.
He's great. You?
Just really quick, I didn't realize that was today. We've had a lot going on, but this is my grandson Harlow, and when Cody brought him home, he was just a little guy, and he'd lay in my bed with me at night, and he would kind of sound like a cat. He'd meow. And I said, "You're not a cat, you're a dog." He was so cute, but he passed 3 weeks ago. He was young, and he always had problems breathing, and he loved the water. He loved when my husband would spray him in the backyard, but he would never, it was like he was drowning, but he would just keep coming back. But we really miss him, and I just miss him so much. And then we also just lost our cat, a month before, which was 22, Romeo. We got him when my daughter was in kindergarten, and he went to college with her. Aww. And so it was like having a twin brother. And so it was like losing a son when we lost Romeo. It was a difficult day, but we know where he's at. And all in all, I want to bless our dogs living here. Ollie, Annie, and Izzy. Izzy is my mom's dog who passed, and she's deaf and has dementia. And so that's fun. And then, because my mother passed as dementia, and I said, "Is this, what? I said, "What are you doing? Get your dog." "What?" I already took care of you. Okay, so then there's our little Ollie. He's a Yorkie and pain in my, but we love him so much. He's a little pain.
Yes.
He thinks he's the king. He thinks he's a dachshund. I mean, he thinks he's a Great Dane, and he's a Yorkie. And he rules our whole house. And then there's Annie. And Annie is our Jack Russell mix, and she is so skittish and so funny and so protective over the other two. And I just want to bless them. And thank God that we have them. And they've been a real big blessing in our life. So thank you. And I'm sorry to hear about the church.
Okay, these are my cats. This is Winston and Clyde. They're brothers. They're very cuddly with each other. And let's see. Okay, these are my dogs right now, Cooper and Carson. And they're 8 years old. The cats are 10. But just yesterday I was chasing Winston in the yard because we don't normally let them out, and for various reasons. But I said to my son Brendan, I said, you know, I've been chasing cats since I could walk. And I don't know if you know when you don't know if you have a memory or if someone tells you, but I kind of remember chasing my first cats that I remember, Sam, and then I had second Sam, right? Because they were both like tiger cats. I guess one of them, we used to live on a big street. We lost a lot of cats on that street. It was a huge boulevard. And I could barely reach the doorknob, and I'd come in, where's second Sam? Because I had that lisp, you know? Because I was always looking for them. They were probably hiding. But, you know, we started having dogs when maybe in the 60s, and then my husband and I, my late husband, we started having dogs together since like 1988. And then before we had these Goldens, we had a Golden Cisco, and when Cisco passed, because my husband worked at home, and Cisco spent the day with him every day, and when he passed, he told me that he sat in his chair every morning and cried. Every morning. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But, you know, and when I think about all of them, I get that feeling, and I get that pit in my stomach. But if I didn't have that, I'd know that I wasn't the deeply caring person that I am, you know. And these are animals, you know. We're really emotionally tied to them and what they do for us. And they don't ask much from us. That's the thing, I think.
Okay, so since I got here at 9:30 in the morning, I'm technologically savvy and I have access to things, I went a little bit extra. Hold on, we're gonna get through all of these. Okay, so here's my Harley. So growing up, I always was like, I want an animal. It doesn't matter what animal I get, I want an animal. And, you know, growing up, it was always, Mom, can we have a horse? I think we have a big enough backyard for a horse. And Mom, can we have a cat? You know, the neighbor's cat likes to hang out. We could just bring him inside. And I did that. My mom's allergic to cats, and she was not very happy about that. But I never got an animal besides 2 baited fish that my grandma got for me against my mom's wishes. And then some rescued parakeets who were abused and died within a few months because they were neglected and sick. So that was very sad. So I grew up with not very many animal experiences except for going over to my friend's houses, right? Or being chased down the street by my neighbor's animals because we lived in the Santa Cruz Mountains and everyone just lets their dogs roam free. And especially the ones that terrorize children. So when I was 15 and a half and I got taken in by my now ex's family, I was there for 8 years with their family. I had the most beautiful transformation in my life. I went from being in a house where the pets were the feral mice that would crawl over my face and the rats that would like get into the house, and one time a skunk, and you know, they would
fight underneath the house and spray, and then we'd come up through the floorboards. You know, going from a cold house where my mom wasn't there was barely any food, you know, like I was the only one there working 2 jobs, about 15 years old, by the way, to being taken in by my at the time, boyfriend's family, where it was warm, there was food cooked, there was laughter, there was light, but most importantly, there were way too many animals. that I loved. So I went from nothing to chickens, and they brought home goats at one point without me knowing, and it was the best day of my life, okay? I was sitting in the living room and I watched the family car drive up, and the back, like the trunk of the SUV open up, and my dad get out holding what looked like a deer at first, like holding it and then just like dropping it and then running away. And I was like, what? So we had 2 pygmy goats that were like this tall. And they were little buttheads. We had a chinchilla, we had fish, we had birds, like like big parrots, like anyways, cats, dogs, the whole 9 yards, okay? And the thing with this was, Mom got the shiny new animal that was fresh and it was fun. And then eventually she decided to give it to one of the kids. She had 5 kids. And then it became their responsibility, and that just kept happening. So I got to help take care of all of these wonderful animals, and one of them was Harley. So in about 2020, just before the pandemic hit, they were like, do you want to take care of Harley? She seems to really like you. And I was like, my own dog? So she is 135 pounds when I got her. She's a Newfoundland. Wow. She came up to here on me. Yes. She was fat. I love her, but she was fat. So we slimmed her down, but my best friend painted a very beautiful picture of her for me for, I think, my birthday or something like that, and I still have that. And I forgot to bring it. I was going to bring her ashes and her picture and all that.
Oh, she's gone now?
Yeah, I totally forgot. So she is 9 years old. In 2 years, I got to put down all 3 of like me and my ex's dogs. It was horrible. But she, in 2020, I realized that she was doing some of the things that a service dog would do for PTSD, and just naturally, she just come up to me and be like, you're not okay, and we should lay down and cuddle. And I would be like, you know, that's a really good idea. And then I was like, I could capitalize on this. So we started training, and I don't have any, well, these 2 down here, you can kind of see her best, but we were doing Halloween shopping for her at Spirit Halloween, and everybody loved her at that time. We went in and they're like, oh, sorry, we don't allow pets. Oh, wait, no, she's a service dog. Oh, we're finding a costume for her. Okay, here we go. We can help with this. But I got all kinds of fun stuff with her. She graduated with me in 2020. She was my big baby service dog. We loved it up here except for the summers. And I miss her. But you know what? She was in pain and she was tired, so it's okay. Yeah. But now that I've moved on from my exes, I have my new apartment, and you know, I'm all reset, and I had to leave my other 2 kid cats, yeah, they were my children, with my ex in the divorce. I got 2 brand new babies. Oh. So this white one, his name is Bo. That's my roommate's cat. And they're from the same litter, and the black one is Valentina. I had to pick an appropriately edgy name for her. Because she has an edgy personality. See that scar down her face? She's seen some stuff. But they were running around Jack's mom's 55-plus mobile home community. It's this mobile home community I've ever seen, by the way. And she decided when she stopped seeing mom around that she would take them in. And she still has the other 2 from the litter. And she's been trying to home them, so anyone's another cat. I know, and Bo is the most photogenic. He'll sit there and look pretty. And Valentina, that's the only 2 photos I could get of her that were not blurry, and her running away because she's still a little skittish. But she has been slowly warming up to me. She's been coming onto my bed in the mornings and saying hi. I've been loving it. So these 2 have been helping us heal, honestly. Just the moments of down and quiet where we're both like processing, like my roommate and I are just talking and processing our past and like settling in. And then all of a sudden 2 race cars come across and then use us as springboards and run away and then do a tumble roll and fly off of each other's faces. I mean, I heard their skulls connect the other day, you know? Kitten therapy is real, and it was good. are my lovely babies.
Putting out the window.
Yes, they, as soon as we put their giant, ostentatious unicorn over by the window, and we opened up the window so they could hear the birds, they were like, what's going on out there?
I love that unicorn. Perfect.
Yes, those are my kittens. That's Gus and Gus.
Gus looked like that when I left him.
He's still like that. A person will hardly ever see Boots. He's afraid of his own shadow. But we got Gus, who was a rescue kitten, and he was very rambunctious, and he would come up to my husband, and he would bump, bite him on the nose, and so my husband said, okay, he's got to go. So I asked the vet, and they said, well, believe it or not, if you get another cat, sometimes that will solve everything. So Boots was a Petco rescue, and they love each other. It's been, actually, it's been like 11 years, and they fight, they groom each other, they, sleep together, they, they're best buddies. And then we have a dog, I'm not sure, that's
Sharon.
fine girl, Sherman.
I think it's the next one.
Is it?
Sherman.
Oh, here, sorry.
So how's Keith?
There.
he is.
Oh.
Well, it's better. This is Sherman.
Oh.
Yes. He's a rescue. So he had a hard start in life, and he's not too bright. Has a lot of problems. He's never learned to. He doesn't understand games. He doesn't do doesn't do anything you want him to. He has seizures frequently, and he has Aunt Corey who's going to watch him for 4.5 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very lucky there. Anyway, then my spirit animal is Zona, Arizona. The picture's there. My friend Candace painted that picture after Zona passed from a photo, and she was my heart. That was the worst thing when she passed. And then these two little books. We used to have Pee-wee and Reggie, and my daughters were young at the time, and they made little books, and they had one page has a whisker taped on, and pictures. So that's
Like a baby.
yeah, exactly. So that's what those are. Anyway, so now, Patricia, would you like to do the blessing?
Yes.
And then we have videos as well that Sharon and Aspen put together.
One would think that an animal blessing, that I would be blessing the animals. But the animals are our blessings. So let's move into the center. The center that is pure love. That which created the entire universe and gifted us with the blessing of the variety of animals that have chosen to become part of our lives. They are gifts of grace, undeserved grace, undeserved love, unearned love. These companions come into our lives with such expectancy of good, such joy, such curiosity, such joy of life. And those are the blessings that they share with us who are privileged to care for them and to love them. And I believe their lives are short for a reason. For us to remember to be here now, to love them, and to know that there is always more grace, more love, more blessings available. Open your heart and the blessings come. Open your arms and the blessings come. Just like an enthusiastic dog, you cannot hold them back. Or a curious kitten, you cannot hold it back. These are our blessings from the universe. And for all this and more, we give thanks. And so it is.
And so it is.
So it is.
Yes. And I think we have some videos.
Yes. Just as a schedule.
And on the 9th day, God looked down on his wide-eyed children and said they needed a companion. So God made a dog. God said, I need somebody willing to wake up, give kisses, pee on a tree, sleep all day, wake up again, give more kisses, then stay up until midnight basking in the glow of a television set. So God made a dog. God said, I need somebody willing to sit, then stay, then roll over, then with no ego or complaint dress in hats they don't need and costumes they don't understand. I need somebody who can break wind without a first care or a second thought, who can chase tails, sniff crotches, fetch sticks, and lift spirits with a lick. Somebody who, no matter what you didn't do or couldn't take or didn't win or couldn't make, will love you without judgment just the same, so God made a dog. God said, I need somebody strong enough to pull sleds and find bombs, yet gentle enough to love babies and lead the blind. Somebody who will spend all day on a couch with a resting head and supportive eyes to lift the spirits of a broken heart. So God made a dog. It had to be somebody who'd remain patient and loyal, even through loneliness. Somebody to care, cuddle, snuggle, and nuzzle, and cheer, and charm, and snore, and slobber, and eat the trash, and would chase the squirrels. Somebody who would bring a family together with the selflessness of an open heart. Somebody who would bark, and then pant, and then reply with rapid wag of tail. When their best friend says, let's go for a ride in the car. So God made a dog.
God looked down on his former paradise and said, I need an animal that is both brilliant and stupid. So God made a cat. God said, I need an animal that will make its owner get up before dawn, stuff itself with food, sleep half the day, eat yet again, go back to sleep, and then keep the whole neighborhood awake past 3 in the morning, yowling at the top of its lungs. So God made a cat. I need an animal with claws strong enough to shred all the furniture and destroy household items, but an animal that the owner will still dote on, persist in buying all manner of toys, and change its litter box without fail. And the animal will take this as evidence of being superior and will develop an overblown sense of self-worth and entitlement. So God made a cat. God said, I need a creature that will be cute as a button when it's born, will play and bat its big adorable eyes at anyone who gives it attention, and will be one of the most viewed subjects on social media outlets, yet upon coming of age will show its true colors by venting irritation, anger, and contempt upon anyone it chooses. So God made a cat. God had to have something to remind us of what it means to live in a broken world full of death, danger, and deceit. So God made a cat. God said, I need an animal connected to noble lineage, linked to majesty, that will routinely embarrass its relatives with antics better suited for common clowns and charlatans. It had to be an animal whose curiosity could kill it, An animal so dumb that it needs 8, no, make it 9 lives. An animal that will sneak, fight, kill, cry, hiss, refuse to cooperate at bath time, get stuck in trees, disrupt life, and then have the audacity to assume that all other inhabitants of this planet are inferior to them. And the most telling characteristic is the one that disturbs the most. When that feline looks with what can only be described as hatred toward that most loyal of companions, man's best friend. So God made a cat.
I guess nothing could ever prepare me for this day. I guess nothing could ever prepare me for this pain. How do I say goodbye to one
Oh, please.
This just got inserted.
Okay.
Sharon wanted it. All right.
Please.
Before we do that, I have a cat joke. I just found it and I just loved it. You know how witches always have black cats? Do you know why they don't have white cats? The comic had a picture of this really cute witch all in her black clothes, reaching into her closet for her black dress, covered in white cat hair. That's why witches have black cats.
I can relate to that one.
I can relate to that. I like that.
So I wanted to write a poem as I looked across the arc of my life. Started at the very beginning with my conception, growing up, moving into marriage, having children. It's basically my story, looking at this life through the lens of science of mind. As you listen, maybe you can hear some of your story too. It's called My Declaration, My Journey. A spark ignites from two elements coming together. They help as best they can, even as they split apart. And now I travel on with just two desires, to grow and to help, though I don't yet fully understand how. I discover my ability to choose through trial and error. Yes, I can be hurt, and when I am, I'm at my greatest place of learning how not to hurt back. Experience comes rushing towards me whether I'm ready or not. Stumbling, dodging, colliding, grasping, I keep going on. Slowly, my view begins to broaden. Dimly, I begin to see that all monsters are reflections of misunderstanding. Something hidden calls to me. Though I can't locate it yet, I know it is good. I feel my learning is spreading out and plunging deep into life's receptive soil, which is hungering to nourish me. Another spark comes near, and together we travel through the universe. Together we shine more brightly than when apart. We join and spark again, and behold, comes forth a great new wonder. And we give her our best knowing and our worst. Time steps through the dimness and catches my eye. Rushing now as fast as I can, I learn to slow down. Reaching out for things pales as my inner world begins to glow. Turning within, I witness all that is possible, though grasp only some. Secrets begin to whisper in my ear, and I listen. Other sparks come near as I lower my defenses, and together we learn we are one. I see a bright flaring ahead. It is my destination. Around me I sense the heat of all sparking trails converging, all heading towards the great flame. Turning, I see all the others rushing to be consumed, and I weep from the deepest wells of sadness and joy. Determined now to feel it all, no matter what it takes, I shout out loud, fly on now, fly on, we are heading home.
So just a couple of things. There's a basket there. If you'd like to give towards the rent, please do. I guess we have need for that. And we have a prayer line that's available. If you'd like prayer, please fill out one of the forms that's out here in the credenza, and we will pray for you. My class, the 5th one, is going to be this next Saturday. And if you have your workbook, fill out the sheet about what you would like to receive as far as pastoral care goes. And we're going to compile that. And on the last class, we'll have something to offer if anybody needs pastoral care. So that's coming. So I guess I'll go for the benediction here. In closing, I am grateful for this time together and grateful for everyone who gives service and everyone who comes to be spiritually fed, knowing that you have been spiritually fed. And so in that tone, looking forward with expectancy, anticipation, and excitement to what lies ahead for each and every one of us. And so releasing this, my word, into the law, I say, and so it is. Have a good Sunday.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So
Go for it.